It is Military Week here on Erie News Now as we honor our armed forces in the days leading up to the arrival of the Wall That Heals coming to Erie County. Tonight, it is part 2 of a 3-part series examining the training of the United States Marine Corps recruits. Our Ethan Kibbe spent 3 days with Marines at Parris Island, South Carolina. Ethan, you're here with us tonight to tell us a little bit more about that training program that turns young men and women into Marines.
Well, Eva, every moment Marines spend at Parris Island is part of a highly structured training regimen, making the most of every second to draw out the best of every young man and woman.
From the moment a company of Marine recruits arrives at Parris Island, training begins because the clock is ticking. Drill instructors have just 12 weeks to turn hundreds of young men and women into United States Marines.
You get it! Just seeing these kids grow from the 3 months that we get them, it's mesmerizing, honestly.
That starts by stripping recruits of their identities, as drill instructors break decades of bad habits from civilian life.
Every day, everywhere you go!
My drill instructor came up and he was like, eventually you're gonna break, and then I'm gonna build you right back up.
It's 3 months of highly structured training, designed to mold recruits into peak physical and mental shape.
Everything is set. This isn't our first time, this isn't our second time. We're not here reinventing the wheels. So we know what we're doing with our kids, we know what our product wants to be.
Recruits are trained in hand-to-hand combat and in water survival skills. They learn to repel and fight off tear gas, and every Marine becomes an accomplished rifleman.
The Marine Corps goes places and does things, and every Marine needs to be trusted to be able to act as that provisional infantryman if they need to.
After 10 grueling weeks, it's time for the final challenge, a 3-day survival exercise in the wilderness of Parris Island. It's known as the Crucible.
It's the final challenge for a reason. Crucible is 54 hours long and you get minimal amount of sleep, so being able to be cognitive and take care of all the tasks and being able to work as a team while the stress levels are very high, that's what makes the Crucible very difficult.
Start crawling. Shut your mouth.
Recruits hike dozens of miles and face a battery of physical and mental tests, all on almost no sleep and with just 4 meals. But when they return, sweaty and bloodied, they're no longer recruits. They're United States Marines.
Once they finish that moment and they walk back to that parade deck and they get that Eagle Globe and Anchor pressed into their hand, there's a lot of eyes that are sweating.
3 months of work and the beginning of a life of service.
You've seen them not being able to march, forgot how to walk, forgot how to talk. And at the end of the day, you start seeing the transformation of them actually marching, them actually speaking up, having confidence.
And so we have a very controlled environment, and it is designed that way on purpose. As the drill instructor said, this isn't their first time. They know exactly what they're doing, and every day is scheduled out. Recruits have just 10 minutes of free time where they can write a letter home, or they could pray. You're cut off from the outside world, no cell phones, no anything. Drill instructors are even with you when you use the restroom because there's no downtime as you make a Marine.
10 minutes a day to themselves.
10 minutes a day.
Much
10
respect.
glorious days. They always say you're, sun up to sundown. You just try to do it one day at a time because if you look at the whole picture, you're going to be overwhelmed.